Are you struggling with plot holes in your story and aren't sure how to patch them up? Then you've come to the right place, because today we're discussing how to fix plot holes in your story. So be sure to stick around. Let's get started. Hey guys, Nour here, and welcome back to my channel. For those visiting for the first time, hello, I'm the fantasy author of the novel Divinity Falling. Be sure to subscribe for weekly writing advice videos. Every writer deals with plot holes, so if you find yourself with plot holes in your story, welcome to the club. Don't feel bad about having plot holes. Every story is bound to have at least one plot hole in the initial draft. This just means that you're still working out the plot, which is normal and to be expected. The goal here is to eliminate plot holes so they don't make it into the final story that readers will read. Even if you're not sure if your story has any plot holes, it's a good idea to take a break from your manuscript once it's complete. Taking a few weeks away from the story will give you a fresh perspective and allow you to distance yourself from the details ingrained in your head. Then, when the break is over, your job is to read over your manuscript and take note of everything that stands out. Analyze everything as a reader. Take note of all the subplots, character arcs, locations, timeline details, events, and so on. Then, ask yourself if all the details line up. If a subplot comes up, is it ever concluded or resolved? If a character does something, is it logical based on their typical behavior throughout the story or something alluded to in prior chapters? If one day it's Friday and in the next scene it's Thursday, is this jump in time logical or is it confusing? Be sure to consider even the smallest of details. For example, does a character's eye color change randomly halfway through the book? Although this is a minor mistake, it is still a plot hole. So analyze everything with a fine-tooth comb. Keep in mind, it's also helpful to ask beta readers to jot down any plot holes they run across. Now that you've analyzed everything, it's time to go through your story and fix the plot holes. This can be as easy as making all the eye colors consistent throughout the book, or as difficult as having to revise major sections throughout the book. The latter can be frustrating, but you must do what's best for the story. So if you must rewrite a chapter or several scenes throughout the book to resolve a plot point, then do it. Even if you're attached to a specific plot, sit down and think of better ways you could go about the plot. Think outside the box. Sometimes the plot you're initially attached to isn't necessarily the best one to go with. In the end, you might write something even better. So don't be afraid to change things up if they make more sense. I know this is a bit vague, but that's because plot holes come in a variety of ways, and it's up to you to sit down and do the work. Also, be sure to create a timeline of everything that takes place. Write down the chronological events, locations, and subplots that take place so that you can make sure everything is resolved by the end. If you're writing a series, it's okay if some details aren't answered in the first book, as long as you plan to answer them by the end of the series. However, if you make your timeline and realize that certain details aren't resolved, logical, or clear, make sure you go back and concentrate on those areas. And be sure that fixing those plot holes doesn't create other plot holes in other areas of the book. And if your story feels so complicated that plot holes are hard to fix, consider simplifying the plot. Sometimes, overcomplicated plots can lose track, so simplifying them is a good idea. So that's all I have for you today. I'd love to know if you've dealt with a plot hole in the past, how did you resolve it? Let me know in the comments. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. I put out weekly writing advice videos that will take your story to the next level. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media to see what I'm up to from day to day and to chat with me. And before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Frayne and Alan J. Early from my shoutouts here over on Patreon, as well as all my amazing patrons. Thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate you. And remember, Nour for president!